Do you think there are rituals and sacrifices taking place, you know, in front of us?
Like,
Like
for sure.
in a way, it's like we don't see it that way, but it is. Like, let's just say 2020, for example, right? There was a lot of death, right? But
And
I'm
the nurses
wondering,
were dancing around and making all their
right? Because when I look at the word, you know, COV, you know where I'm getting at. When you spell it backwards, it means it's Divok, right? But
Right.
it's an ancient spirit, right? And so I'm like, was that whole thing also a ritual? Who knows?
Yeah, I think the Super Bowl is like the biggest ritual,
Oh,
more
wow.
so than anything
Right.
else. So rituals, like everybody does rituals. Like people wake up and they take a shower, like that's their morning ritual,
Right.
So religions, we all got rituals that people do. And these ancient cults, they had rituals as well for fertility. For example, the fertility rituals, there'd be like an orgy on the field, the sacrifice, and the blood gets into the oil. And so when I'm thinking about the Super Bowl, I've been connecting it to fertility rites with Ishtar. And there's, before me, people were doing that. Isaac Weishaupt was showing this. Robert Anton Wilson was talking about it. So there's a lot of evidence showing that things like the Super Bowl is a fertility rite, and it makes total sense. So when the lockdowns happened, it was a ritual on stage of all men. So there was no fertility. You had the weekend and the graveyard behind him, and then all the people fell and collapsed on the stage during that ritual where we were all locked in home at that time. Then the years that came up was Rihanna being pregnant, for example. And this newest one was Kendrick Lamar, and I think that goes into the new Homo sapien, where they're mixing man with some new type of technology, because all the other Super Bowls was only red and white. And I'm like, oh, that's some Knights Templar stuff, the red and white everywhere. But this new one was red, white, and blue. So for the exoteric, we're like, oh, it's the American flag. But why didn't they have red, white, and blue on all of them? It was just red and white, to this one where it's red, white, and blue. And I think it had something to do symbolically of this new species, that they're putting something into the human and mixing it to create some kind of new kind of thing.